saw St Kilda and Fremantle yesterday was just a really, really, really good game of footy.
Wasn't it?
It's hard.
Wasn't it ever?
They announced themselves, you know, they really did. Fremantle. Mark Harvey should be pretty proud of their performance. He'll be disappointed they lost.
Yep.
But they're coming along very, very nicely.
I can take a lot out of that. There is no doubt about that. Because I was just talking to you off air, and we might as well get straight into it. The third quarter, when St Kilda had come back from being a goal down 3 times, and then hit the lead, I was covering that game for SEN Footy, and I said, we're going to find out a bit about Fremantle right now. And within 30 seconds, they kicked a goal. These blokes just keep coming. They're going. They believe in what they're doing.
Yeah, they do.
First time in a long time.
They've got a lot of commitment through the back half and midfield. They take them on. They defend and tackle when they have to do it, and then when they've got the ball, they spread, or they try and spread, and they try and run. A couple of things that Stephen Hill did yesterday. He's just going to be a magical footballer. They've
got speed. Scott Lucas was big on this all day yesterday. They've got speed, and they're happy to take the game on.
Yep. If you were coaching Ball and Tigers,
Mighty Tigers,
and Daniel Rich was on the right and Stephen Hill was on the left, and you had to draft one of them, what we know after a year and 4 games, who would you take?
This is a good question. Probably easy to say Stephen Hill now. I'll say Stephen Hill.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you.
Because I'll sit in the middle and just get it out.
Well, both of them kick the ball 60 metres. One does it running at about 35 kilometres an hour, which is a major plus today when
One's also been sat on heavily because of his performance last year and playing a few different roles for his group.
Yeah, he is. But to break away from this manic pressing contest football, you've got to have some outside leg speed, and Stephen Hill has got that, and he's a beautiful kick.
And they backed themselves in, the Freo recruiters last year. They said, you know what, they obviously had the option to take Daniel Rich, but we think long term that Stephen Hill's going to be a far more influential player in the competition because of the way he plays and the development he still had anyway. Daniel Rich was that man-child that we often use in terms of talking about players that are mature physically.
We'll get on to St Kilda at the moment. I just want to say one thing. Alex Silvani. Geez, he's a nice young player.
Like him.
Really composed. You know, they're the kind of players you can stick down there and just watch them grow. And he's only, I don't know, he played in the VFL last year, so he's not a kid. I reckon we'll see a major shift away from just going all out with kids. I think it's shown with Podsiali, Michael Barlow.
Yep.
Welcome to the real world, Michael Barlow. He has Clinton Jones running around with him for an opponent. 4th game into his rich AFL career, and worked
really hard
in the first quarter, first half. I saw Barlow running, and he couldn't keep up.
Jones couldn't.
No.
No, Jones, one thing really impressed me yesterday, his work ethic, because he had Ling last week.
Yeah.
For most of the game, and had Jones yesterday, 2 of the very best we have in the competition of being able to stop players, and he still walks away with 25 or so.
27. Jones had 33.
And he worked his bum off. Now, he wasn't as effective, I don't think, as he has been the previous weeks, but you know what, he got to the spots, and that's...
I called it this morning, he kicked a goal with menace when he drilled it low.
Yes.
For a guy who can spot anyone up from 55 with 3 blokes hanging off him, I don't know if I believe that Goddard can shank a torp on the run head high running into goal.
No, I'm not sure he needed to do that for mine.
I'm pretty sure he didn't need to do that.
Yeah, and actually it hit a young Freo spectator.
Yeah,
who was distressed for quite some time.
Well, did you see the kick?
Yeah.
If it hit you in the head, you'd still be distressed.
And that's the slows on Brendan Goddard is the class factor sometimes and how he carries himself. You know, there was absolutely no need to do that. I knew the point he was trying to make. You know, into the cheers, God, yeah.
Well, I thought they might have been getting into Milne or something, because Milne was yapping all day, as probably was, and they were getting him and calling him what he's been called for a long, long time. So maybe
pesky little rodent.
Yep, and maybe he just lost it, but it didn't look good, did it?
No.
Yeah, and it didn't look good when Plugger did it either. All those years ago. I thought yourself, you big tosser.
Yeah.
You could really do some serious
damage. There was a sense of that yesterday when he did that. He was going too well to let himself down with that.
He's better than that, Goddard. He really is a class football. But anyway, it was a terrific game. There's some really
great finish to the week. It was.
Just on that Brendan Goddard thing, there's a few people that were ringing up saying that he didn't mean it. Make no mistake, he meant that. For sure. I've actually seen a local footy game where the game actually got called off because someone did that, and it erupted in a fight on and off the field, and the game got called off.
Yeah, well, we've voiced our...
What did St Kilda said this morning?
To it.
Just hang on there for a day. What did St Kilda say this morning? Have they said anything? I don't think they have.
Don't know. Haven't heard.
Brendan Goddard, geez, we really, really scrutinise this game of ours to the nth degree.
Yeah.
We really do. But, I mean, a young kid got hurt.
Yep.
Now,
that's not an experience you should be having.
Should Brendan Goddard have to explain himself?
Well,
to the AFL,
he should if it can be proven that it was actually a deliberate act. Now, you can't prove that. You can't
only Brendan Goddard knows that. So Brendan Goddard can either talk about this or not talk about it and leave everyone guessing, which I think most people believe it was kicked in anger or menace into the crowd, or BJ can come out and say, hey, yeah, I did, and I made a huge error. And put your hand up and say, I'll learn from this.
Is that going to happen?
You're allowed to make mistakes.
Well, no.
You are allowed to make mistakes in life.
No problem with that.
I wonder if he'll do it.
In tickets, and I got offered tickets behind the goals. I was taking my 11-year-old niece, and geez, common sense would be, hey, I ain't going to sit behind there on the slight chance that I'm going to get hit. And I just think that if you sit behind there, so be it. You get hit, you get hit. Stop complaining. Supporters get off St Kilda. Everyone's all cut up because they've been going so good. Well, it's time they get stuffed and just understand that the safety here to stay, and that's it.
Who are you back for, John?
I'm a St Kilda supporter.
Wouldn't have picked it.
What would happen? What would have happened? And I'm not saying... No one can say that Brendan Goddard did it deliberately. It'd be just such a big topic now. BJ has to come out and say something. He just does. It's just everywhere. What would happen if you went up and set up the other end of the ground, John, with your 11-year-old niece who was slurping on a Diet Coca-Cola, and Des Headland went running in and torped as hard as he could and hit your niece right in the head?
Well, that's pretty much part of football. That's why...
That's not part of football. That's crap, John.
I didn't buy the tickets over there for that simple reason. There's a chance of getting hit.
There's a very slim chance of getting hit and getting hurt behind the goal. You might get one on the bouncer that comes in from 40.
Let's be honest, it's not a hanging offence. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's not.
And we're not trying to make it that.
You know, it's not.
But it's not a great look.
No, it's not.
And it wasn't required. That's the essence of it. It wasn't required for Brendan Goddard and for the Saints at that time. Thanks.